Hi everyone, Aiden here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install these Pewag Servo RS self-tensioning snow tire chains on our 2020 Toyota RAV4. So right out of the gate, this is going to be a diagonal pattern snow tire chain. What that means, comparing it to something like a ladder pattern style that has just a series of links running perpendicularly across the tire. This is going to give more coverage on the tire, resulting in a bit of a smoother ride quality because there's more constant contact with tire chain on the road. Now these are going to be a square-shaped link here, which means they've got a bit of a hard edge, good for biting into some ice, still gets good traction in snow, and because of the link size, I'd say it's a really good in the middle of the road chain. It can take that ice conditions and break it up a bit and still perform well in the snow compared to something like a cable chain. It's a bit less aggressive and maybe not as good for ice. Now the big thing here is going to be the self-tensioner. It's built right into the tire chain and has this cable that gets drawn up into the tensioning mechanism. It's going to make sure that the chains stay tight around the tire here, and even if something shifts around or moves while you're driving, it's constantly pulling, so it will take up that slack while you're driving. We always recommend getting a rubber tensioner separately for certain chains that don't come with it, just because it's a good security measure to have and keeps the chains tight on the tire. So with this one, it's great to know that it's built in, you don't need to buy anything separately, and you don't have to worry about forgetting it either. As far as construction goes, these are going to be a titanium alloy steel. That's going to help them perform really well for many seasons because they have a good corrosion resistance and they're more durable than a low carbon steel alternative. Now the links aren't huge here and they work really well on the RAV4. They are SAE Class S certified for vehicles with limited wheel well clearance, and you can see on the RAV4 we've got plenty of room around the wheel well while still getting, I'd say, a good sized link that is going to help provide extra traction. They do come with a carrying case that can hold both this chain and the one for the other side of the vehicle, as well as your instructions and anything else you might need. It's a pretty good case. It's a soft shell, kind of rigid construction, and it's really easy to get everything in and out with the zipper pouch. Opens all the way open, so it's easy to get everything back in. A lot of tire chains come with pretty poor quality bags that sometimes you can't get the chains back in, or they just don't hold up well over time. This is going to keep everything nice and neat, so it's easy to keep in your vehicle. Now comparing these to another option from Koenig, these are also going to be a self-tensioning chain that we installed on the RAV4. I prefer the Pewag ones. I think that the self-tensioning mechanism works a little bit better on these. It just feels a little more aggressive with that cable being drawn up into the mechanism. It feels a little bit more sturdy. I found it actually a little bit easier to install too. The link sizes are a little bit bigger, so it's going to give you more traction while still retaining that low profile appearance. And I'd say overall they're pretty comparable, but this one just has a few of those extra options that I prefer. And like I mentioned, the install is really easy, so check out how we did it. The first thing you want to do for your install is get the chain laid out and make sure nothing's tangled. The other thing we can check on is that we've got the proper orientation. So there's going to be a gap in the middle of the chain right here, and that's where our tire is going to sit. Moving to the back, we've got a coated cable that's going to go back behind the tire, and on that coated cable we're going to have these cross sections of chain, these cross links. Those are going to have two sides, a more smooth side that's facing up right now, and a more hooked end that kind of wraps around the cable. That's the side we want face down right now. It'll end up facing away from the tire after we put the chain on because we want that smoother side touching the tire. After that, we can get things actually fed behind the tire and attached. So to do that, we'll just take this section, feed it around back and over to the other side. Now things probably will get a little tangled up here as you're doing this, but just do your best to keep an eye on all the different sections, make sure nothing's getting tangled, and as you feed it across, you make sure everything is still where it's supposed to be, like that. And we can take our cable on either end, bring that up and into the wheel well, and connect this stud with this catch plate right here. And before you totally let go of that, grab the chain and bring that to the front. We're going to have a series of red free links right here, as well as a hook. We want these to go together. Now you don't always have to go to the very end link here. You can go to one of these inner ones if we need to tighten it up. And then if you've got excess chain, there is a clip right here that you can use to bind that up so it's not flopping around. After that, we can push things back onto the tire and center it using these cross sections of chain kind of as a guide for what will be the center. The other thing we want to consider is the actual mechanism here for tensioning. It's got two positions, a drive and an open position, and this knob switches between them. I'm going to switch it to the open position here and actually just pull out on this portion to the left. That's going to put it as loose as it'll go and allow us to make this bottom connection, hooking our red hook on the right into the link on the left. And after you've made that connection, switching it to the drive position, draws it back in and starts to apply some tension. If you want to, you can kind of give it a tug on your own to help it out, just to see if you can get a few more clicks out of it. But I think where we're going to see the biggest difference is after we install the other side and drive forward a few times. As you drive, the tire chain will adjust, and since it has this automatic tensioner, that's going to be constantly pulling, and as you drive, it'll pull itself tight. It's a good idea to hop out and still check on it and make sure everything's good. Make sure you don't need to maybe tighten up these links on the top, but after that, you're ready to hit the road. And that'll do it for our look at these Pewag Servo RS self-tensioning snow tire chains on the 2020 Toyota RAV4. Thanks for watching.